Good morning, Josie Elementary. Thank you for tuning to WJCG TV News. This is Sophia
and Julia.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
No wonder they weren't holding the cue card. Can't see you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Good morning, students and staff members. Thank you for tuning to WJCG TV News via YouTube. Welcome to another wonderful day at Joella C. Good Elementary School. Today is Monday, December 3rd.
Attention students and teachers. Today is the first day of the book drive. Please look in your rooms and donate gently used books for our teachers. We are in need of books for students grade pre-K through 8th grade. Donate bins are located in the front of the main office and the media center. NEHS thanks you for your generosity.
Attention students, the NEHS Candy Gram sale begins on Wednesday. Bring your dollars to send a candy cane to a friend or teacher. Each candy gram costs $1. Attention students, the NEHS Candy Gram sale begins on Wednesday. Bring your dollar to send a candy cane to a friend or teacher. Each candy gram costs $1.
Now to Caitlin with today's news.
Technical difficulties.
What is going on?
Sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh my god.
Try talking.
Good morning.
Doesn't work.
Go ahead.
Good.
Borrow this mic here.
Technical difficulties. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Yeah, so sorry. I'll try to stand over there. That's all. Go ahead. Just stand.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. Good morning, students. I'm Candice with today's news. George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st President of the U.S., died Friday at age 94. Mr. Bush was president for one term, leading the U.S. through a time of huge world changes. Mr. Bush will probably be remembered as a man who spent much of his life working to help his country. Many people saw him as a kind man who tried hard to do the right thing. Mr. Bush ran for president in 1980, but wound up serving as vice president to Ronald Reagan for 8 years. Finally, in 1988, he was elected president. There were many worrying things in the world then. The U.S. had been enemies with a country called the Soviet Union since the 1950s. After Mr. Bush became president, the Soviet Union began to break up into many smaller countries. The largest of these countries is Russia. In 1992, Mr. Bush tried to get elected president again, but he was beaten by Bill Clinton. Even though Mr. Bush lost to Mr. Clinton, the two became good friends. Later, they worked together for years to raise money for people who needed help. Mr. Bush was married to his wife, Barbara Bush, for 73 years. One of his sons, George W. Bush, became the 43rd president of the U.S. Another son, Jeb, became governor of Florida. Mr. Bush will be honored in Washington before being buried in Texas. Now to Matthew with today's weather.
Thank you, Caitlin. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Matthew Suarez with today's weather. Today is 78 degrees. Today's lows are 71 and today's highs are 89 degrees. Today's dismissal forecast is partly cloudy with 87 degrees and a 0% chance of rain. Now to Zion with today's lunch.
Does that mic work? Okay.
Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Chef Clark. Today's lunch. Today we'll be having egg roll with brown rice, 3 bean chili, assorted Greek salad, flat wraps, apple slices, lettuce mixed salad, steamed mixed vegetables, and tortilla chips, and a bread bowl. That sounds like a marvelous lunch. Now back to our anchors.
Thank you, Chef Clark. We also wish a happy Hanukkah to all celebrate.
All who celebrate.
This concludes today's edition of WJCG TV News. We hope you have a marvelous Monday, magical Monday. Be respectful and keep on reading, boys and girls.